Hello, it is 1 p.m. on Wednesday, October 19th, and if it wasn't obvious from the fact that I was prepping the set and then printed or laser cut a outline of the last episode's dinosaur, we're going to shoot a dinosaur episode today. Specifically, we're going to shoot Allosaurus, based on these two Allosaurs. Well, the plural of Allosaurus is Allosaurus, and also this skull that I've mentioned before. But now that I have my one camera set up basically where it's going to be for blocking, I'm going to do my final practice run because I've been revising my notes for the better part of a, don't show the password on the blog, for the better part of a, better part of 6 weeks actually, on and off. Finally gonna work my way through. I actually get quite a ways in before I start talking about the toy. And then at the very end we have a little bit of a story time about the Cleveland Lloyd dinosaur quarry. And usually I would either write this out on whiteboards in bullet point form or print it out, but I'm trying the iPad this time, which will save trees and also my wrist from having to write a bunch of stuff on whiteboards. So we'll see how that goes. I want to thank Alec and Shori Reese for this one, and Laura and Keith Baston for this green one. Kind of interesting that we have two of the same toy, even though one of them seems to have been a slightly inferior manufacturer. Both from Safari Limited, actually. But these are clearly supposed to be Allosaurus, and more than 20 people have requested Allosaurus, so we had best get to this. They do basically look like Allosaurus, which is admirable. Allosaurus has been the carnivore pretty much since it was discovered, which I think is a disservice. See, it took the stage in pop cultural terms really early as the antagonist of Brontosaurus and all of them. And in that dynamic, as the sauropod killer, it hasn't fundamentally changed, even down to today. This was in 1877 that Marsh, as part of the Bone Wars, named Allosaurus, based on a specimen from Garden Park, Colorado. True to form, Marsh had the bare minimum amount of material that he needed to distinguish Allosaurus as a genus. In fact, he did not have enough to distinguish it from other Allosauroids from elsewhere in the world, which is a problem. There is another specimen from the same type locality, which might become what's called the neotype and resolve this issue. And being in the spotlight for so long has turned Allosaurus into the theropod, the default theropod, which causes some problems, especially in pop cultural depictions, because the things that set Allosaurus and carnosaurs in general apart from other theropods get glossed over or not included at all, and other large theropods get painted with the carnosaur brush. So Ceratosaurus becomes Allosaurus with a nose horn, and Tyrannosaurus becomes Allosaurus with 2 fingers and binocular vision, also really big. The Carnosaur's basic body plan went unchanged for about 100 million years, so they must have been doing something right as leggy, compact, solidly built predators. But this trope of, all theropods basically look like Allosaurus is so common that I've even gotten toys for a request that are just some kind of generic theropod, and people just assume, oh, that must be Allosaurus. This was a common creature in the Morrison Formation. Most of the Morrison predator biomass was Allosaurus. It outnumbers all other theropods that we found in that formation by more than 2 to 1. And it's present in all geographic areas of the Morrison. Morrison Formation is a huge swath of western North America, which is from the late Jurassic period, right around 150 million years ago. And And I need to not look down at my notes while talking, so I need to practice more. Yes, good. 5,600, close enough.
Hey, Steven.
Yeah. Hi, Miss Liz and blog.
What's today's date?
Today is the 19th of October.
And what are we doing?
We're making a dinosaur video.
Which one?
Allosaurus, episode 20.
So what you been doing up to this?
Well, I spent about 2 months researching and writing and practicing and refining. And then the last 24 hours I've been actually prepping for the shoot itself.
What'd you do today?
Today I hung the backdrop, put a bunch of dinosaur cutouts on it, checked it against the setup there, which I moved the main camera back and zoomed it in, which should cut out some of the empty space on either side. And I raised it, which should show a little bit more of the table than usual. Everything's white balanced. I practiced once with my notes. Really need to watch the looking down at my notes in the middle of the take thing, but that's what directors are for.
You've got one issue.
What's that?
On that side, the fabric's popping out.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I think for the next shoot we'll put a wood bar at the bottom of the fabric so that we can weight it and stretch it downward.
That is a fantabulous idea.
And this is Christian. He's an intern here.
Hello.
He's usually mostly here on the weekends, but he comes on Wednesdays too. He's into camera work, so now he gets to figure out how to do it for this shoot. It's not hard, I promise. So what else do we need to do before we get going? Other than that.
Other than break my radio so that it stops shouting.
Hey, the battery's almost dying already.
He needs to get focus and zoom level and blocking. So I no longer have a monitor on that camera, so tell me if I'm centered.
Hey, Steven.
I'm afraid they're all dead.
Steven. The camera here is currently at the height of my head. That's where the camera is.
We have this lovely...
I don't believe you thought this through.
I thought it through so fully...
Sit down, I got it.
That I run...
Hey, what did I say? Sit down.
Costco stool.
Sit down, my battery's almost dead already. It looks fine to me for today's purposes. The absence of signs is already a huge plus.
You probably can't see this, can you see?
Sure I can. We're usually closer. We're usually like chest up.
Chest up? Okay.
And sit up like you're excited so he knows where to put it above your head.
They ate each other. They fucking ate each other.
So like right there.
I'm so glad that this camera decided to completely wig out while you did that. So it was completely blurry.
A little more headroom, but yes, that is the proper zoom level.
Okay.
So are we ready to go?
I don't know yet.
More?
We're gonna finish up and start shooting.
Sign up for this, man.
So what are you making him do?
I'm making him drop the dinosaurs. They're going to come down from the top of the screen like this and then just dangle here. And then I'll pick one off and then the other one will come down. And I'll like, be scared and stuff.
You see?
Okay.
This guy is problematic.
We've never had 2 toys in one episode before, so I figured we should do something fancy. Also, we have slinkies.
You should let him climb up and hand those to him.
Yeah, so
I can try that? Sure.
It's not like we haven't had experience with near misses on those ladders.
Alec and Shori Reese, and Laura and Keith Baston. Oh, by the way, there's dinosaur parts, so don't trip.
okay.
Would have been valuable things to say before you went up there.
All right, I'll get out of the way.
So which one's first? The green one or the gray one?
Well, it doesn't matter. I guess gray one first on this side and green one second on this side.
Alright, let's see what I can do. Alright. Shall I rehearse it?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like a good plan. First one. Oh,
Okay, so release fewer coils.
oh, I can't.
I can't do this while sitting.
Oh, come on, you bastard. There we go. Alright, fewer coils. Alright. Let's try this again.
Fire one.
How's that?
That was 5.
That was
Perfect.
good, but you can't talk this time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
And then while I'm taking that one off, you'll drop the second one. So there you go. Yeah, kind of like that, only you'll have to release the same number of coils that you released for the first one. Make sense?
Yeah.
Didn't think you'd be a puppeteer today, did you?
No. Alright.
Okay.
And then I sit here very quietly until he comes down,
Oh.
and then I start the episode.
Yes, let's. So not that it was a bad opening. How much forethought did we put into that?
How much what?
How much thought did we put into doing that before we did it?
I had that idea like an hour ago.
Okay. So we're just gonna shoot this thing.
So it is about 5:40 and we are done. I did it in just over an hour of shooting. So that's nice to have that out of the way. I can finally start post-production. Well, I kind of started post-production while we were still planning the video, but that's another story. But I can start post-production on this and start writing the next one. Christian, what do you think? This was probably better than the coloring book, right?
Yeah, I especially really liked going up there and dropping them on your head almost. That was the best part.
It worked wonderfully. And now we pretty much have to strike the set. I'm gonna leave the backdrop up for a little bit. Probably take that down Saturday. But the lights and the cameras and the monitor can all go away, and a lot of this stuff needs to go back wherever it belongs. So that's that. See you next time.